Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the...
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today I can't take it, so I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benskop, and I'm not sure why the operator, Lemon, who is actually back with us, why Lemon has this photograph of these two prisoners. Right? And look, they're smiling. The happiest set of prisoners I've ever seen in my entire life. All right. Okay. Well, good. Thank you so much, Lemon. I don't know if you guys recognize who that girl is. Well, there's only one girl there, right? The other one is a man. Oh, sorry. I sometimes get carried away, but Melissa Atwell, a nice little chat with her earlier. And in order to prove that I said, look, I need to know that I'm talking to you. Just turn your camera on. And before I say turn your camera on, that was it. Who wouldn't want to turn their camera on for Mark, right? Sorry, guys. You know, I'm always a little full of myself, right? I don't know. Sometimes I can't help myself, being just full of myself, right? And you guys can pray for me, man. I don't know. Just pray for me. How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benskop. Tom Anderson is going to be with us tonight. Tom is going to be with us. And you never know who else. You just never know who else may be with us. We may probably invite some member of the audience. I don't know. What's happening in your neck of the woods, guys? We're hearing a lot of things. lots and lots of things we're hearing about. We're hearing lots and lots of things. I don't know. You guys want me to talk about the things that we've been hearing? I don't know. I just don't know. All right, it's April 1st. If you're celebrating your birth anniversary, happy birthday to you. Born on April 1st. I probably wouldn't hold it against my parents if I were born on April 1st. I'm sorry about that. Trishawn and others celebrating their birth anniversary. Happy birthday to you. If anybody in the audience, anyone that's listening, for some reason, I get this impression that since Trump miraculously got back into office, right? Sometimes, some nights, I find myself sounding a little bit like Trump. Do you guys think so? Especially when I say nobody in the world, nobody does it better than me, right? No, there's no other number one talk show host than Ben Shah. Nobody, absolutely. I'm just kidding. The other guys are going to catch a fit. Good night to the folks at the Village Voice. How are you guys doing? You guys have to share the Village Voice link, right? You got to share their link. Forget about some people who like to cuss out the Village Voice. It happens. In a democracy, it happens. They get some people curse, and you're fighting for those very people too, And they're cursing me out. Oh, they're cursing Ben Shop. Oh, we're not going to look Ben Shop. We're not going to watch it, Ben Shop. We're going to boycott Ben Shop. All because Ben Shop doesn't say what they like, right? Who says it like that? All right. Hey, what else is happening? Thank you all for sharing the link. Those of you who have already shared the link, we appreciate it dearly. I want to start off with this. No, we don't want to start off with this. This is under the corrupt PPP regime, not the Chinese funded or anything, but the corrupt PPP regime. That's what it's about, guys. That is what it's about. Now, look, take a look at this. No, this is not a GoFundMe. This is drugs, right? 92 pounds of marijuana, 92 pounds. And this guy walked free. I don't know if he has some cousin in the PPP regime. I don't know. But this guy has to be the luckiest son of a gun, right? Sorry, guys. The luckiest Paku in this world. Luckiest. Look at him. All that drugs. All of that drugs. He walked free. The magistrate upheld an okay submission and said, that's it. Dismissed. You got to go. It appears as though the more drugs you peddle in Guyana under the PPP regime, you're likely to be freed. The less drugs you have in your possession, guess what? You're likely to be jailed. That's it. Likely to be jailed. Look at this guy. Now, I don't want to bring race into this thing at all. I don't want to bring race. You guys know I don't bring race into these things, right, Shamar Rahamat? What's going on, my friend? I don't. But do you think this guy is East Indian descent, right? And let's talk raw. Let's talk raw. Do you think if he was not of East Indian descent, that there's a possibility that he would have been freed? Do you think the magistrate would have probably say, go your way? Or do you think that somebody connected to him in the PPP? I'm assuming this, but he cannot be a flat-foot hustler or somebody who just was asked to go and pick up something. You are going to be asked to go and pick something up. You ain't know what you're picking up, but you're going and pick it up, right? Sorry, sound like a DJ there. You're going to go and pick it up. And when you reach to pick whatever it is up, when you reach to pick it up, right, Tom? Tom is with us this evening. But let's stop. Let's pause for a moment. Let's pause for a moment and stand up and salute Tom. Should we do? Tom, good night, and how are you? Welcome to Straight Up.
Hey, good night, everybody. Doing well,
Yeah,
Mark. Doing well. How are you guys doing?
yeah. They are on top of the world. But let me ask you this, Tom. 92 pounds of cocaine. The magistrate said, no, just go your way. What is your take? Let's start right off with it.
I'm not sure what happened with this. Actually, I just jumped on the show, so tell me the story. What's going on with the 92 pounds of weed that they found?
Okay, blackout. You know how it is, right? So here's what happened, Tom. This guy got caught with 92 pounds of marijuana. Principal Magistrate Alan Wilson, presiding at the Maikoni Magistrates Court, has dismissed the drug trafficking charge against him following a submission, a no case submission by the defense counsel. In other words, his defense lawyer said, look, with all the evidence of marijuana, all the evidence of 92 pounds, there's no case, none whatsoever. Even though he was found with the marijuana in his car, he admitted that he picked up somebody asked him to pick up something. He went to pick up this something and he was about to take it to somebody in Georgetown, but he doesn't know who this somebody is. He doesn't know anything. And so the magistrate said, okay, here's what. Case dismissed. Case dismissed. That's what it's all about, Tom. Your take.
Yeah, I'm not. That sounds pretty normal from what I know with the court system in Guyana. I mean, from what I understand, I mean, I've heard people tell me that there are these Bush judges who they want to be a judge for the government out in the middle of the jungle, so that way when they oversee cases where someone's chicken was stolen or taken, the people pay the judge off with like the rocks from the riverbed, and those rocks are like rubies and like very valuable jewels that come out of the Amazon. So I've heard all types of stuff like this in Guyana. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. This sounds like it's pretty, pretty normal, actually. If you ask me, Mark, I don't know.
Pretty normal indeed. Pretty normal. Lots and lots of, what is it, 92 pounds? Ooh, gosh. But Tom, and the point I'm trying to make here, guess what happened? This lady, Shamina Boodoo, was sent to prison for 2 grams of cocaine, Tom Anderson. 2 grams of cocaine.
Yes.
Compared to this guy being freed, 92 pounds.
Yes.
Of marijuana. 2 grams. You know
that
what?
Totally makes sense. That's the justice system in Guyana, man. I mean, from what I understand, I'm not, from everything I know, that's pretty much how it works. And that's why Melly Mel having to go back down there would have been a problem, right? Because they would have treated her very poorly. Okay.
They would have treated her very, very poorly. Indeed. Tom Anderson is with us. We're showing you, because this woman, Shamina Boodoo, 2 grams of cocaine. I don't know, what is it for consumption? I don't know. I'm not disrespecting this woman. She doesn't deserve to be in prison for 2 grams. When the big fishes, all of them running around, tons and tons of cocaine. And guess what? They're walking free. They're walking the streets of Guyana free. But this poor woman with 2 grams probably doesn't have a lawyer. She's sent to prison. 2 grams of cocaine. 2 grams. I don't know. Tom?
Yeah.
Moving on.
That's why I'm a religious man, Mark, because I just know you'll never find true justice on this planet. You just won't. I mean, this is a really, man, we go through a lot as human beings. It's not right. And so, I look at stuff like this and I say, boy, that's why I put my faith and trust in God, because if you try to put your faith and trust in men, you will be let down every single time. That's just my take, man.
Absolutely. But that lady should not be in jail. 2 grams. I hope she has a lawyer. If she doesn't have a lawyer, I'd like to probably at some point in time. I don't know. Tom, I spoke with Melissa Atwell earlier. You see that, what is it? It's called, what's it called again? A video chat. I'm getting old, man. A video chat indeed with Melissa Atwell, fresh out of Louisiana ICE detention center. Fresh out. I know you have a lot to say about that again. We have been talking a lot about it, but I'll just pause you for a moment, please, Tom, as we welcome Melissa Atwell live with us. Good night, ma'am.
Hi, Mark. Good evening.
Yep. Oh, okay. That's the Melly Mel that we know. You're smiling.
Hey.
What's going on? Talk to us. How are you feeling now?
Mark, I am great. I am great. I am in good spirits. I'm just happy to be home with my family, my husband, my sister, my son. I'm good, Mark. I'm good.
Lots of people. Tom, you want to say something to Miss Atwell?
Hey, congratulations. I'm really glad it all turned out good for you. We never spoke before all of this, but maybe this horrible thing, will turn a lot of good things in the future for you.
Listen, this horrible thing that I don't even want to refer to it as a horrible thing. This blessings in disguise, I promise you, is probably one of the best things that have happened to me this year. I don't think people understand the amount of doors that this situation this current situation has opened for me. I am grateful. Even while I was in there, I was talking to my friends and I was like, you know what? God already wrote your story. You just got to live it. The story has already been written. You just got to live it. And, God wanted me to be exactly where I was. He wanted to position me exactly where I was among the people I was. He wanted me to, regroup, to refocus, to shift my focus. And that is exactly what happened. So I wouldn't say this horrible thing or this tragic thing. I promise you, this was definitely a blessing in disguise.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. Sometimes it is indeed a blessing in disguise. But tell us, please, sometimes I don't even know what to call you, Melissa Atwell.
You know what? Anything is fine. Melissa, Melly.
Fellow political prisoner. Right?
Fellow political prisoner.
We're glad that you're out. Thousands upon thousands of people have been rooting for you. But give us a brief rundown. I know I just took you out. You're there with your family, but thank you so much for honoring.
It is fine. Mark, I know I always say sometimes, it just so happens that every time I'm supposed to appear in your program, I'm always out or doing something, and I never get the opportunity to come on when you say I'm going to be ready in 10. I'm always just doing something because I'm always busy.
Yeah, you always put me on a lock, as they say in Guyana. Put me on a lock, but not tonight. Now, Atwell, can you describe what your cell was like there and the conditions of the prison, the conditions of the other prisoners there?
Mark, you talking about cell? You gonna like I went to a 5-star hotel. What cell? It wasn't a cell, Mark. I wasn't in a cell by myself. I wasn't, sharing a room with a bunkmate. It was literally a warehouse with 85 to 100 other women. We were bathing and using the toilet and everything in front of each other.
Wow. How would you describe the condition, understanding that it wasn't a 5-star? Because we've been getting a lot of reports from that detention center that it's horrible.
Mark, it is horrible, and I do hope that I'm not much into U.S. politics, but I do hope that officials actually look into it. As an activist, one of my main concerns was how the women were being treated in terms of having simple things like sanitary napkins, toilet paper. We're given 2 underwears, 2 sets of clothes, and listen, I really want to go into details more as to what the conditions are like. Luckily to me, I was fortunate to have, so much so much support. Mark, let me tell you something. When they arrest me, I was hurt. I cried when I was because I was confused. I couldn't understand what was happening or why I was even being detained or why I was even being locked up. And then I got in there and I heard the stories of some of the women, and I was like, shit. Like I'm sitting here complaining when these women are in desperate need of help and asylum and all these things, and I'm here sitting complaining because my situation is not even, it's not anything close to what they've been through or they're going through. So like I said, it was an experience. For that I'm grateful. But the conditions are, it's tough, right? And they keep saying to us, you guys are not in jail, you guys are at a detention center. But I'm thinking to myself, we're not in jail, we're at a detention center, but yet we're being treated worse than prisoners.
Wow.
Like I just, I couldn't understand.
Tom Anderson, you've heard Melly Mel there. Your input, please.
Well, first of all, I'm so glad that you're back home. I'm so glad that you got out of that situation. You're a blessed woman, and you're blessed for a reason. You're supposed to hand these blessings out to others now. So I can't wait to see how you do that. I'm excited to see how you go forward.
Listen, that is exactly what I intend to do. I know that while I was in there was all kind of rumors going around that, I had a nervous breakdown in lockup and all these things. Mark, I promise you that was never the case. From the time I got in there, it took me about a day or two to actually reality hit me in like a day or two. And I'm the type of person that, I adjust the situations, and that is exactly what I did after a day or two. I started working, I started calling on the outside to get, stuff in place, to start like things that I have been putting off while I was outside because I was so distracted. While I was in there, I was calling and having my support system, my friends and stuff, put stuff in place. So when I got out, I've been planning to officially launch my foundation here in New York since 2 years ago, and I have just been, because I've been so busy, I was able to get that done. I was able to get my website up and running. I was able to have a launch date for April. I was able to get all those things in place. I was able to organize my first fundraising event. Because I tell people before anything else, I'm an activist. Whether you want to consider me an influencer, political activist, or whatever, I'm an activist. I do what I do. I was working in prison. I was helping fellow activists to fill out asylum form because the language. What I realized is the language barrier is a big thing for a lot of the women that are detained. I've met women that came from Congo, Venezuela, Angola, Ethiopia, Cuba, and all these women that are seeking asylum for so many different reasons. And the language barrier is always a thing. So when they hand out like the asylum forms to fill out and all of that, they can't because they don't understand English. So I was there with like about 3 or 4 translator, Mark. I kid you not. I have so much stories to tell. It's like I'm speaking English, somebody else is relating. I'm speaking to somebody in English. They are speaking to the next person in Spanish. The next person that's speaking Spanish is speaking to the next person in French. The next person in French is speaking to the next person in whatever Swahili or whatever African language. And then it's coming back to me so that I can fill out an asylum application form. So I was literally in prison and working. I kid you not.
Pro bono. I know there's a story coming up with a Jamaican inmate of yours.
Yes. There's a Jamaican inmate of mine. There's a young activist, a 21-year-old Venezuelan who's in there who was protesting against the Maduro regime during the election time. She created a Facebook page and they were posting how they were rigging the election and all of that. She's now a target of the Venezuelan government, Maduro and the Venezuelan government. She was actually my bunkmate. It was an absolute, it was, I was, it was a great opportunity to meet her. She's just 21 years old and she had to leave her country. Then there is another female from Congo. She left there because she was kidnapped and raped by the army. She was held prisoner. She got away. She had to leave the country. I met another young lady from Angola. Her and her husband, they had to leave because their children were taken from them and turned into kid soldiers. They left the country. They had to flee. I met another young lady from Ethiopia that traveled 12 different countries just to get to America to seek asylum. I met a doctor from Cuba who left Cuba because she was being forced to go to Venezuela because she's a young doctor. Her husband is an engineer tech. They're smart, experienced, but they were being forced by the Cuban government to go to Venezuela. She was like, they're killing doctors and all these things in Venezuela. They refused to go, so they were going to be in prison. So she and her husband got away. Wow. Mark, there were so many amazing stories. Like, I sat down and I listened, and I was honest. I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely blessed and highly favored because my situation wasn't anything like close, like my situation wasn't anything anything close to what I was hearing or what I was listening to.
So let me ask you this question, Melissa Atwell, and for those of you who are now joining us, Melly Mel is with us, just sharing briefly. I know she will have a lot more to talk, a lot more to say, and rightly so. But these women, what were they picked up for? We know that you weren't picked up for anything that made sense, anyways. But what were they picked up for?
Well, you see, a lot of them, don't get me wrong, there are those in the system who have federal charges, who have federal charges and federal crimes. I have met a few of those as well. So I'm not going to say, they're just picking up anybody and putting them in these detention centers. So no, because there are women in there that have federal charges and that have done federal crimes that are in there and that they're trying to process and they're trying to get out of the U.S. So I'm not going to deny that. But I'm mostly speaking for those women for the women that are truly seeking asylum, for those that are in situations in their country that can't go back, like myself. And I guess I kind of related to them more because of the situation that myself is in, that cannot go back to the country that they are from. I'm speaking about those activists and those women that definitely cannot go back home. I'm hoping to, some way help them as much as I can. They took my number. We were in there. I was getting them listen, and I want the 592 Comment Association to know that while I was in there, they were donating money and stuff. They weren't just helping me, but they were helping these women as well, because I had people putting money on their books to buy food, to get deodorant, to get extra underwear, extra clothes, because they were going to be in there for a while. Because the asylum process is so long, and they have to wait, and they have 1 and 2 and 3 court hearing. They have to wait to get a positive from ICE to know if they're going to go forward and all that. It's a very long and drawn out system that they're doing now. You just can't come and seek asylum and get through. You have to go to court. You have to go before a court, before a good judge. You have to plead your case and all these things. So I was literally in there just, trying my best to help as much as I can. And now that I'm out and I've heard these women's stories, I got right to work because I'm here, Mark. And, I really and truly want to do something to help those that I have connected with, and that I promise that, once I get out, I will do my best to return the favor and to help. The 592 was very supportive to me. I want to say thanks to Mark. I know you came out and you rallied for me. I want to say thanks to everybody that rallied for me, even to those people that I have been critical to in the past. And when I say those people, Mark, that me and the PNC got the best relationship. Me and Aubrey, me and everybody got the best relationship. But I want to say thanks to them that they understood and they understand the moment was bigger than me being a critic of them or being critical of their governance or their leadership and stuff. And it was bigger than that. It was about coming together. It was about democracy. It was about fighting for my freedom, for somebody that speaks out and tries to help everybody. And I'm just happy that they saw the bigger picture and they came out and their support. And for that, I have to say kudos to them.
Yeah, and Tom, go ahead, and you're welcome, Melissa Atwell. Thousands of people are watching. Thousands of people have what is the 592. Tom, the 592 is Guyana's area code, right? And so that's why it's called the 592. Tom, as you've been listening to Melissa Atwell, again, we took her away from her beautiful family. They deserve to have her, but we also deserve to have her for another couple minutes more, that is. Tom, anything else you wish to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to, let her know, like, so when you were going through your ordeal on the outside, I'm glad you thanked the PNC and those guys, because on the outside, for them to support you, it wasn't just them rising to the occasion and seeing that it was the bigger picture, but they were getting pressured. They were getting pressured too, because you had the critics, you had these other people that were claiming that you were being arrested for all these crimes that nobody knew about. And they were, basically talking bad about you, and there was no proof or evidence. And so for them to stand up for you in the face of a lot of threats, criticism, lies, I give them a lot of credit that they did that, and they stood up for you they saw through all the lies, which was really give them props for that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Yeah, I have to. And Tom, let me tell you this. The PPP have been trying to push this narrative for years. Since I've become very outspoken, they have been trying to push this narrative for years that I extort people, I'm a criminal. They want to know how I live in the US for how much years, or I travel back and forth and I don't work, I'm doing credit card fraud, I'm doing this fraud, I'm a criminal. They have been pushing that narrative for years because they don't have anything else to go on. So they have to discredit me at how best they see fit. At any means necessary, they have to discredit my integrity, they have to discredit my character, and that is what they have been pushing for years. So even though, I must say this, that it was illegal what critics and William Lockhart did, whereby they literally streamed a federal hearing, which is illegal in the US, and which I absolutely intend to take legal action. I have already have my lawyers working on sending letters to the US authority about the Guyanese critics streaming my court case live. That was illegal, by the way. I didn't learn this until I was in custody. I myself would have done something in the past that I didn't even know was illegal. Like I posted a video like a couple of months ago where DA agents were escorting Vikram Bharat off of the plane. I didn't even know that you are not allowed to take pictures or video of any federal agents in the US. It's illegal. You can be jailed. It's a crime. You can't do that in the US. And even before the case started, I know that Enrico Wolford and Ivor Walton and all these people, these news agents were on that stream that morning, and the judge and the prosecutor absolutely didn't know what was going on, because the prosecutor was like, why is all these news agency on this particular court case? Nobody knew why everybody was there or who they were for. So when the officer started looking around, like who is the person in here that everybody is interested in? And I said, when they started calling the news outlet Capital News and all these things, I started laughing, because I was like, yo, that's me. Right. And Enrico spoke, and he was good. He was like, she's an activist, and guys, and it's an important case for us, and we just want to know what's going on and follow on. But then the prosecutor said, we understand, but this is not allowed.
But let me say this to you, and yes, the judge did rule, and something needs to be done for those who broadcast it, even after the judge said no. But guess what I did after I saw that they were looking for news outlet? I came on as bench up radio, Tom. Right away, I took off the bench up radio and just put Mark.
Yeah, because I saw your name, Mark. I saw Mark Benchop. So listen, I'm sitting there and I see Mark Benchop. I'm like, wait a minute, Mark Benchop? What is Mark doing on this? Because I kid you not, before I saw Capital News and Ivor Walton and all of that, you were one of the first names that I saw. I'm like, wait a minute, Mark? What is Mark doing here?
Oh, what do you mean? What is Mark doing? I'll be anywhere. here fighting against injustices, and this was an injustice that was meted out to you. So, as the judge,
that is okay. Mark, listen. All I'm going to say that the 50,000 US that they're paying the lobbyists firm in the US when the money come, it's definitely working. But I just want to say also that in this situation, in this case, it definitely worked in my favor as well. So listen, I ain't complaining, Mark. Like I said, this was definitely a blessing in disguise, and I kid you not. And when I start to do what I have to do, and like as the months go by, so you guys will see like what I'm going to be doing. You will understand why I'm saying that it's definitely a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely a blessing in disguise. Melissa Atwell with us. We just took her away from her family we told them 5 minutes, and that was like 20 minutes ago. Melissa, as the judge, 1 second, we're not done yet. Just 1 minute more. The judge, as the judge was looking around and say, why is this person even here?
Why is this woman even here?
Why?
Because, Mark, what they did is they find a loophole where I overstayed 2 days before I even got married. Mark, they tried, first of all, they would have reported my marriage 25 times to immigration because they tried to say that my marriage was a business wedding. Mind you, Mark, I have known my husband for 10 plus years. I've met my husband, I've known my husband for 10 plus years. I don't listen. I like Mark. You know me, and for those in the 5 I have never ever spoken about my husband, who he is, what he does. I don't post picture of him. I'm like my private life is my private life. My husband is very private, so I've always tried to maintain that. I've always tried to keep him and his family out of the spotlight. So this after they reported my marriage 25 times, saying that it's a business wedding. Mark, you live in the U.S. And you and I both know that no executive, no vice president of any bank or organization marry somebody as a business wedding. He definitely don't need my 25,000 or 30,000, whatever is the going rate for a business wedding right now in New York. He definitely don't need it. Those kind of people don't get married, don't do business wedding. I've known my husband for 10 years. We have broken up over the 10 years. I can't tell you the amount of time that we have broken up and gotten back together.
But stick a pin, which in fact is normal. Separation is normal. There's nothing wrong about that. But yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. Listen, all my separation was triggered by me being who I am, this social media personality, spending too much time on the phone and all kind of thing. But Mark, I'm gonna say this: 592. Listen, y'all convince him, you hear? Because, people are always telling me, oh, leave the 592 and the problem, because when you get in trouble, ain't nobody gonna stand up for you. It's you alone. All of them just take the corner. Well, listen, y'all showed out and showed up in this particular situation. Mark, my husband was overwhelmed. He couldn't, I don't think he understood what was happening. He was surprised at the amount of support and the amount of people that was willing. Mark, when they announced my bail at $7,500, I literally had people calling Louisiana facility to pay my bill. My husband, because they keep telling me like, oh, a woman called, then a man called, then somebody else called. But I knew my husband was taking care of my bill. So I was like, who's all these people calling to find out how do they go about bailing me? These are people that I've never met or I don't know that really just wanted to pay my bill. So that is the amount of support I have. And listen, I am forever grateful. I appreciate everybody that reached out, that tried to help and stuff. I do, however, this situation, has made, because I'm kind of like laid back with certain things, but this situation has definitely made like I need to take extra measures. So I'm speaking with my lawyers. I now have 2 lawyers, and I'm speaking with them, and I'm taking every single extra measure that I need to take to protect me here in the U.S.
Well said. Melissa Atwell, we really appreciate your time. I just asked you for 5 minutes. We have gone beyond that. I'm not going to ask you for not even 30 seconds more, but you have lots and lots of love and appreciation for what you do. Go ahead.
Mark, I must say, I must say thank you. Thanks to Rickford Burke. Thanks to, everybody that came out, all the organizations, the 592 Comment Association, my family, my friend, listen, my sister, who is my best friend, who is like, my real ride or die soldier, Odessa, everybody, my sister who set up the GoFundMe because she was tired of people asking her, how can they help? How can they help? And my sister was like, you know what? She don't know what. Listen, my sister, she's quiet. Unfortunately, this situation now make people know that I actually have a sister that's living in the U.S. But
the funny thing is, I knew her, and I don't mind your business. Maybe Freddie Kissoon, maybe the likes of Freddie Kissoon should know that, because Freddie jumped and he said in some one of those dotish columns about why I didn't pick up your case, why we're supposed to be friends, why? But we have no explanation for Freddie Kissoon at all. He's just what he is. He got to make money and he got to sing for his supper. But
and he got to sing for his supper. Yeah, my sister, Mark, my sister when I got old, my sister, my husband, they took whatever and they ran with it. My sister is a member of the U.S. Army. She went full throttle and she did what she had to do. She came up to Louisiana. She got me. Listen, my family, my mom, even to my son, that I thought that he would have been affected because he was right. When I got home, he was writing exams at the time. Like I did mention that my son is in college. He had midterms, and even to him, when I thought he was going to be like affected, he was like, my son was like, Mommy, me paying attention to the internet or nothing, nobody got to say. I ain't got time with that. My son, listen, my family's the real soldier. Understand?
Dexter, the whole crew.
Dexter, Candy, Therese, Ebony, Eula. The whole crew was just...
And there's one guy, 1 minute more, please. 1 minute. The guy, there's a guy in Guyana that wanted to break up Guyana for you. Apostle Nigel.
Apostle Nigel London, listen. Mark, and let me say this before I say anything else. Like, even when I wasn't there, I was in like a daze for the first couple of days. But I really, because I didn't know what was happening on the outside. I had no idea what's happening because we don't get any news. We don't have access to the internet or anything. So I was getting bits and pieces of music when I would call like a friend here and there or my sister. My husband is not on social media, so
I noticed somebody, and we're not gonna, don't come here with dotishness, please. Some of you don't come with dotishness. Somebody's saying that, oh, your husband wasn't in the courtroom. Don't they know that it was a virtual court hearing? What's wrong with some people, man? Continue, Melissa.
Let me answer that person. My husband wasn't in the courtroom because he was in New York City at 26 Federal Plaza, waiting for my sister to tell him what the bail amount was so that he can get right there and pay it, because we wanted to get everything in by 12 o'clock on Friday, hoping that I will get out on Friday. So that is why he wasn't in the courtroom. Because he was at 26 Federal Plaza at the bank, because what happens is when you get bail, you have to do a bank check. And then you have to upload all the documents to the website. And then when you upload those documents to the website, Louisiana now, the office is 2 hours away from where I was being held at the detention center. So they have to send out documents. The documents then have to be sent back to Louisiana where I was being held. And then they would have to release me. Yeah. And that is why I was released until Monday. Because my husband was busy doing what... sorry for cussing. But my husband was busy doing what the fuck he needed to do. So mind your fucking...
Yeah, exactly. So Keith Isidan is saying you don't have to explain crap to those...
I don't have to explain, but sometimes some of these people just be so fucking ignorant, like, oh, where was her husband? Where was this? My husband was exactly where the fuck he needed to be. So y'all don't be coming for my husband.
All right. Well, Melissa Atwell will be Melissa Atwell. They're not coming for him. The love is stronger now. The love is stronger now, Melissa. Can I say something before you go? I want to be. Tell your husband I want to be Godfather. I want to be Godfather. There were lots of people. There was Nature Boy. There was all the people. Charlotte Duncan.
Nature Boy. Everybody. Listen, I may have forgotten some of you, but I want to say
Norman Brown, the whole crew,
thank you, Joylyn Cotton. Listen, baby art. Listen, thank you, everybody. If I forgot some of you, forgive me, because the support was so much. But to each and every single one of you, Mark, to you, to Rickford Burke, to Pastor London, to everybody that came out.
What about Tom? Tom, every night here.
Tom, I don't know you personally, but thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everything. Riri Lily is a real one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yvette
What's happening in Guyana,
Congresswoman.
To all the persons. And listen, Mark, let me say one other thing. To all the public servants and all the PPP supporters in public that supported me privately, that don't want the people to know that they supported me privately and they donated to me privately. Y'all are the real MVP. Thank you.
Nancy and Princess and the whole crew. But Melissa Atwell, we know that others, you can't call everybody's names, right? At some point in time, you'll get to call all of the other names that weren't mentioned, or to Martin, every single person. You will definitely be able to call them, including when you see Congresswoman Yvette Clarke again, you'll get that opportunity to thank her in person.
Oh my God, Yvette Clarke, I will see. Well, I won't speak on that, but I will see her soon. But to everybody, to Yvette Clarke, to everybody that reached out, and I just want the people to know that the U.S. embassies and Congress and Congresswomen and men and what I should say. I don't want to call a particular. I won't want, but like U.S. official organizations and federal bodies don't write letter of recommendation or don't write character letters for criminal. And I've had every single one, just so they know.
Absolutely. Well, just so they know, indeed, the flat-foot hustlers, those who perform rickettakes, I hope they're watching. Many of them are watching. But Melissa, I know I've said 1 minute. My 1 minute is done. Thank you so much, Tom.
Mark, I've been on this for 30 minutes. I'm going again. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I love you. And for those of you that are studying the GoFundMe money that was raised and what is being used for, it's being used for exactly what you donated it to be used for. So
you have no explanation for those pacos. They're the ones who never put anything. But thank you so much for your time, Melissa.
And it's the ones that didn't donate $1 after with the money there. The money is with me. Nobody spend the money. They try to say, oh, they still went on vacation with the money. No, or this person, I couldn't pay the bill and all this money I raised. Listen, the money is exactly where it needs to be. Although they reported the GoFundMe 100 times and had it stopped so many times, they reported the MMG number. Listen, these people did every single thing in their power to stop the 592 from helping me.
You have no explanation.
But they weren't backing down.
But thank you so much for your time, Mati, political prisoner, fellow political prisoner. Good to see you back.
But Mark, I just want to know, I never dropped the soap. I didn't drop the soap, Mark.
We love you, Melissa Atwell. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. She didn't. Neither did I. But we know one person in Guyana who did. We're not going to call the Boardness guy, but we know one person who did. Right. All right. That's Melissa Atwell there. A little humor at the end. It goes to show that no matter what the oppressors do, you've got to come out stronger and 10 times better indeed. Tom, any closing remarks? Before we go?
Well, yeah, I think this proves what I've been saying for a few years now, coming on your show. I've been saying that, the people of Guyana have it in them to organize and on a grassroots level to bring their voices together to affect real change in the country and in a way to make it so that not only are the people of Guyana being treated fairly by the government and the system itself, but that Guyana can be a beacon of light to the entire region. that it's there to have happen. The people of Guyana are the type of people who can do it. I think this proves it, right? I think that no one saw this coming. I think the PPP thought that this was easy. This was low-hanging fruit. They could easily go after Melly Mel, and no one would care. The Trump administration would be racist and sexist, and they'd ship her down. And that didn't happen. As a matter of fact, what ended up happening was so much support came her way that I think these guys have to go back to the drawing board to figure out how they're going to try to rig these games up in the future against people that they have problems with politically. So I think this is great. I think it's a great sign. I think it's an inspiration, and it's something that everyone should really look to and use as an example moving forward on how to make things happen, not just in Guyana, but also here in the United States with this new partnership our two countries have.
Absolutely. Tom Anderson, before we go, because we didn't anticipate taking up so much of practically all of the program, but I think it's well deserved. But, we don't give this guy much or any oxygen here at all. But the ridiculous comment coming from this so-called communist, I don't know, Tom, I ask for forgiveness with some of these Looney Tunes so-called columnists. Looney Tunes, that's what they are. They know nothing about what they write about or anything. Imagine he's saying that anything I do, I use my name, Ben Shop. Whose name you want me to use? Anderson? Freddie Kissoon? Whose name do you want me to use? But yet this same Paku Freddie Kissoon, all over he goes, he gets kicked out. He wrote for the Stabrook News, Freddie Kissoon column. That's the name he used. He got kicked out. He went to the Kaichor News, the Freddie Kissoon column. Whose name does he want me to use? These Pacus, and then he jump and say that, oh, Ben Shop didn't represent Melissa Atwell. All manner of things these Pacus are coming with. They don't make sense, Tom.
No, they don't.
Do you think they make sense?
They don't, and that's why they're desperate. That's why they're doing so much that just is a waste of time. They don't know what to do. And what's funny is you've got on the other side the people who they are attacking are responding, and the way that we are all responding is in ways that they don't understand, and it's powerful, and it's affecting a lot of change. And so they're sitting back and they're desperate. They keep attacking because they can feel that their energy, there's something going on here. And I think if people just pay attention to what's been going on with Melly Mel and this entire situation, you can see for yourself that there is a change happening in the country, in the nation of Guyana. There's a serious change. It's from the ground up, and it's just a matter of time before everyone becomes aware of it. Okay, I think all of us who have seen this just happen, we're all very well aware of what's going on. It's going to spread, and I think it's going to shock the world. My opinion.
Absolutely, Tom Anderson. Enough said on that. We have lots more things to talk about and lots more things to do. But when you do the things, do not telegraph your shots, guys. Those of you who understand real silence, do not telegraph your shots. Tom, we've got to go. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. As always, thank you so much for your time. And to all of our listeners, thank you all so much as well. God bless all of you. And thanks to Melissa Atwell, we took her away from her family. A well-deserved 30 minutes with her. Thank you, Tom.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
And to all of you, thank you all so much. God bless you. See you back tomorrow, same place, same time. I know some of the Looney Tunes in the PPP, they don't like what's ahead. And trust me, lots and lots of things are ahead. That's going to give them belly walk indeed, as we say in Guyana. Belly walk indeed. All right. God bless you all. Ta-ta.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. History of culture, keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su. Oh, Su.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give a $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.